This is our living room. It's one of my favorite spots in our house, even though it's mostly Katie's room. When we got the house, we agreed that she would have full creative control on designing it. The basement was my domain. We also decided it would be a room where we wouldn't have any screens, no TVs. We wanted it to be a gathering place with no screens for distractions from the company we have. Also a place where we could play games and read books. I love this room because we also decided that if we aren't gonna go with any screens, we could go nuts on the audio. So I built this pretty nice setup for playing records and streaming music. Anybody interested in the build, let me know. This is also a room to think while listening. And one day I played one of my favorite albums ever, and I had the idea to make a painting with one of those songs being my key inspiration. This song was Lupe Fiasco's The Instrumental. I thought it would be fun to also build on the song with my own unique flavor to make the painting my own. This is the story and process of how I brought that vision to life. Alright, first things first, I gotta go ahead and make a sketch and then transfer that sketch over to the canvas. So here's the sketch and here's the transfer. Theoretically, this should be easier this time. Last time I didn't have such a good stand. Now I got this heavy workstation from Liquid Stands. Shout out Liquid Stands. So to make the frame, I'm gonna go ahead again and just saw this out and then put it on the back of there with some staples and some glue. It's gonna be grunge time, but fuck it. I'm gonna use some pretty crude methods here and just staple these on for now. Camera, I hit the background with some of this stuff, and what it'll do is it'll give that color shift and really small little flakes of iridescent greens and blues when you get real up close to it. I don't know if I'm gonna get it on camera. Once it's dry you might see it, but it's some really cool stuff though. I also hit it with a little bit of clear gesso on all of the rest of it, because this material, this board just soaks the paint right up. And I noticed when I was doing the background, I was up there I need to hit it with some clear gesso to hopefully make it so it doesn't suck up all the paint. We'll see. This isn't the first time I've painted with purpose. I feel like the real first time I painted with purpose was the Devontae Hart painting, when I knowingly and honestly felt like I had to make a statement piece. This painting, however, felt different in some ways. When I made the Free Hugs painting, I felt like I wanted to make a statement to the world. However, with this piece, it was more like making a statement to myself first, and I hope that it hits with anyone else who sees it too. While this painting's message and purpose are in some ways a sad truth being told as well as a warning, I want to also make art with purpose that's not necessarily tied to negativity. I also want to make art that reminds myself of where I've been, where I'm at, and where I want to be. That's just a little spoiler for my next painting in this art, wink wink. The purpose of this painting is rather obvious in my opinion on the surface level, to not be a slave to the media, and warns against losing one's voice to become another brick in a wall. I would also hope that it shows the viewer to break free from the chains of being a carbon copy political regurgitating drone with no unique voice, to practice finding oneself through unbiased research and understandings of what you choose to understand and love and hate in this world, to understand that everything we see and hear from the media can't be taken as law, and try to base our moral code through a lens of empathy for others and love for ourselves. I hope that this painting's purpose shows that we can have the pretty gold chains and ornate beautiful masks, but the mask can take your voice and the chains can hold you back. I would hope that they could see this man's eyes and how they have become what's holding him back. The static from the screens and eyes representing so much of the nothingness we consume from media. This is just my hope that some of these thoughts go through the viewer's head as they see this. But again, this is what went through mine as I painted it, and what it will remind me of when I look at it. I'd I'd really love to hear about things that you've created with purpose, more than just fun. Speaking on art for purpose and doing it just for fun, I think it's important to state that they 10,000% can intermingle on so many levels. This painting, I would even say, is 75% purpose and 25% fun, whereas Free Hugs was about 100% purpose. I'd say most of my fan art is like 95% fun, and there's nothing wrong with it in my eyes, doing either or. I just find it cool to look at it through a lens new to me in my journey. Also to look at art I love through this lens with new eyes. Would also love to hear about some of your favorite fun and purpose-driven arts that you're into. I say arts because you can see it across all art outlets, from music to painting to literature. Also, what side do you tend to gravitate on more? Do you just make art for fun, or do you try to make a statement as well?
All right, boys and girls, next up to the stage, we've got Chuck Lee doing Lupe Fiasco's The Instrumental. Come on up to the stage, Chuck. Come on up.
Screen right here. One right here.
Yep. Just go ahead and just read from that TV right in front of you, man. I wish I could have the original of this song to avoid any copyright strikes, so instead I figured maybe we have a little karaoke session instead. I felt it was really important to really hear the song that first really sparked the motivation for this painting.
He just sits and watches the people in the boxes. Everything he sees, he absorbs and adopts it. He mimics and he mocks it. Really hates the box, but he can't remember how to stop it. So he continues to watch it, hoping that it'll give him something that he could box with. Or how the locksmith see the boxes locked in the box, ain't got the combination to unlock it. That's why he watches, scared to look away, cause at that moment it might show him what to take off the locks with. So he trained himself to the box of the lock, and then he locked it. Swallowed the combination and then forgot it. As the doctors shot it all down with their pins and pencils, same ones that took away his voice, just left his instrumental like that.
This verse hits so hard on how people become clones of what they see. I love the imagery of the love-hate relationship between the man with the boxes with the mimics and he mocks it line. Also how he feel he needs what's holding him back to teach him how to let go of it. So dope.
He just sits and listens to the people in the boxes. Everything he hears, he absorbs and adopts it. Anything that coming out the box, he blocks it. See, he loves the box and hope they never stop it. Anything the box tell him to do, he does it. Anything they tell him to get, he shops and he cops it. He protects the box, locks it in the box when he goes to sleep. But he never sleeps, cause he stays up to watch it. Scared to look away, cause at that moment it might get stolen, and that's the last of the boxes. So he trained himself to the box of the lock, and then he locked it. Swallowed the combination and then forgot it. As the doctors jot it all down with their pens and pencils, the same ones that took away his voice, just left his instrumental like that.
I like how he says in the beginning of the second verse, he listens to the people in the boxes. Like the first verse, he says he watches the people in the boxes. And I like that this line kind of shows you that the box can be many things, many different sorts of media. I also like how the man treats the box like it's precious, like on some Gollum shit. Really hammers in the self-destructive theme of the song. The verse and the song really show us how plugged in we are with lines like, he never sleeps. Love that. As the song fades out with, and you can't tell me just who you are, you buying them clothes just to hide those scars, you built that roof just to hide those stars, and you can't take it back to the start. It really eloquently puts the ideas together in such a palatable form. Thank you, Lupe. Alright, I hope that karaoke session wasn't too cringe. But now I want to get into the jazzing this thing up. I want to put some signature Chuck Lee type stuff in there, which is some just randomness of all types of mixed media into it. So we're going to start off with the clay for the piece that's going to go on the top of this mask. I wanted to incorporate my green lantern symbol, which I put in a lot of my paintings, which means that you can make anything with your mind, and I want to approach that with art. But this green lantern symbol is different. If you could tell, it has like an X through it, which means that he can't do anything with his mind because he's just regurgitating what he sees and hears from the boxes. I went ahead and sculpted it all with clay, which is kind of new for me, and there's gonna be a little bit more of this to come. It was really cool just making something with my hands. I don't really use clay a lot, and this air drying clay is so cool. I really plan on using it a lot more and a lot more of my pieces to come. I go ahead and I rework the background. What I did in the beginning in with the candy paint and whatnot. It looked cool, but at the same time, it was just too bright for what I was going for. So I wanted to darken up the background, put one of my patterns in there. Then we are getting into the static for the TVs and putting all the glitter in. Now, Katie and I were talking about this, and we had so many different like ideas of what we wanted to put in the TVs. I thought maybe I'd put like, just like earlier in the video, put stuff like, you know, Candace Owens and who's that douchebag, hyper masculine, whatever, Andrew Tate, yeah, that asshole. So I wanted to put like, you know, a bunch of people like that a lot of people just regurgitate everything that they say and don't have their own mind because of it. I wanted to like put a bunch of like newspaper articles or like TV parts inside of the TVs, but I decided against it. And then actually Katie came up with the idea of me using glitter for the TV, so when you see it from different angles, it sparkles kind of like the static in the TV does. I thought that was such a good idea, and I end up eventually putting some of that same glitter inside of his eyes to kind of show that his eyes are just filled with the static from the boxes. After that, we go ahead and again we start going back in with the clay, and that's when I was just like, ooh, all right, bet. So I wanted to put a whole bunch of the different like clay pieces like all over. I wanted to have it in his beads, in his hair. I wanted to have it on the mask. I wanted to just have just clay everywhere to kind of make the painting pop out of the canvas. Also, I did a lot of the spray painting off camera and whatnot because I figured it was boring. I showed you with the symbol on the head, so I figured I'll just do it and put it on here and off camera. I made a few more pieces to the mask you'll see get put on there that you didn't see me kind of make, but I think that it came out super dope. You let me know what you think in the comments. Also, there is a lot more of the box type stuff that is coming. In the next section, we're gonna be finishing this thing up and doing all the fine details, but also there's a couple more little parts that I added to this painting that I am super excited about and kind of proud of myself for thinking of some of these ideas, because it's like, what? I actually put up a little post on Instagram and on Facebook like, yo, if you could tell me why I'm using these, you know, I'll send you a free hoodie. Ain't nobody tell me why. Yo, y'all gotta engage with your boy, man. I want to talk to y'all about this shit, but I digress. Let's go ahead and end out this part so we can get into the last chapter of this painting. So exciting.
Nobody knows my name. Going shall. Nobody knows my name. Nobody knows my name. Nobody knows.
Yo, thank you so much for coming out for another video. And before we get into those final sexy shots, I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a heads up to what's to come. So as many of you know, I was out at Artists in Wonderland. Yo, that whole joint was so crazy. I have 2 videos coming to you from the Artists in Wonderland stuff, so that'll be posted way after they're done, so look for maybe after the end of June for those. I have a mural that I just did for the city of Lansing. That video's coming, and I've already got my next canvas sitting over there with the whole concept already done, so I can't wait to get started with that, and that'll be a continuation of this arc. I know it was a long one, but I really appreciate you guys coming out and sticking around for this thing. I also am a part of a huge YouTube art collab that, you know, I'm not gonna talk about too much about it because I want it to be a surprise to all the other viewers and whatnot, but yeah, that one's gonna be, oh my god, some of the art YouTubers on this one are very intimidating, but I am so happy to be part of that too. All right, enough with the chit chat. Let's go ahead and get into the final sexy shots. Again, peace, love, and I will catch you in the next time for some more sweet shit.